So if you have been on my live streams the last week or so, this has been happening the last week, and I talked about it before, way before. I suppose it's two in one video, kind of just saying about it. So first of all, obviously reaction content on YouTube and things like that. Usually I wouldn't really have much to say about what other YouTubers do and stuff like that. But to be totally honest, what recently happened with another YouTuber, with a big YouTuber at 34 million subscribers and stuff like that, reacting to other people's content. To be totally honest, the way I see it, unless you're adding something really significant to reacting to a video, like say if you're reacting to a video, historian reacts to a video, and adds extra context to, say it's the JFK assassination, and they're adding extra context to historian, or World War Two, I take for example, the historians basically giving you more details, added more to the video, basically giving you more instead of just saying, oh yeah, that's cool, yeah, yeah, you know. I don't deem that as reaction. That shouldn't be fair use, because technically you're just uploading something that somebody else worked hard to make and stuff like that, and it's not fair on the individual who made, or the company that made whatever it is, a documentary, a film. It's not fair, because a lot of work and a lot of time would have went into it, and somebody comes along, just has the bare bones reaction, oh cool and stuff like that, just basically one word kind of, and then just sits there for hours and hours and hours just watching it and getting ad revenue and stuff like that. I don't agree with that straight away. I think that's really theft, and it's really disingenuous, to be totally honest, the way I see it. Um, that's just the way I see it. I know a lot of people would see it. Uh, there's a lot better things people could be doing than just reacting to other people's videos. You know, and that's just putting it straight. That's putting number one out of the way. So you probably heard about a sniper of Docs and Jack's films. Basically turned up to his house, and took a photo and put it on the Instagram story for 5 million people to see. Oh no, because this is boiling into my next point. It was to do with reaction content. Jack Films was talking with Sniper of taking other people's content and putting it up on our YouTube channel and monetizing it, and basically not crediting them or asking the permission to put it up, first of all. Uh, and making huge bucks. I mean, literally huge bucks from it. Literally 30 million a year or so, give or take. More, millions and millions and millions, millions more than anybody would ever see. And that isn't right, straight away. That isn't right. Jack's Films was right to call her out, but as a Sniper Wolf obviously took huge offence to that and tried to really bully him and intimidate him to be quiet, it's not say anything, basically. So she turned up to his house, took a photograph, put it on Instagram, and basically it's been the talk, if you don't know the story, it's been the talk of the internet for the last week or two. So obviously in the last day or two, YouTube has responded basically saying they were just, because let's be fair, I will have to say it, and this is my next point, my third point. YouTube picks favourites. Now, during COVID, just to say about my situation, I said something in one of my videos and YouTube very quickly took it down, even though I appealed it. I said it was my opinion. It's not a medical explanation or things like that. But I said something about COVID, and YouTube took me down straight away, shut me down straight away, even though I appealed it and said it's my basic opinion. It's my expression of my opinion. I'm not saying, as a doctor or into that, spread it's my opinion on what the government was doing, the Irish government. And YouTube was like, no, straight away, no such thing as freedom of speech. We not allow it. Simple as that. You can't question the Irish government. You can't say boo to them. Basically, you can't be harsh on them when it comes to destroying people's livelihoods and stuff like that during the lockdowns. No, YouTube was like, no, 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 you can't have that. But obviously they pick favourites, particularly with Sniper of when 30 sub million subscribers, being the golden girl basically of YouTube. And it's about picking favourites. Everybody should be the same on YouTube. As simple as that. If you break the law, particularly because again she did break the law and it's in YouTube's terms of service too. There's an article for terms of service. If you do something outside of YouTube, if you do something extremely bad outside of YouTube, breaking a serious law and things like that, you can be banned from YouTube, or you can be demonetized, or you can get a strike. And obviously that should have one of them should have happened during what Sniper Wolf did. Preferably just been demonetized forever, or her channel taken down completely. But YouTube done none of that. No. They were like, we're just going to do 2 weeks without ad revenue. That's what it. And my point about this is, at the end of the day, the point is everybody should be the same on YouTube. Nobody should be given special treatment. If the rules obviously there needs to be rules, but again, at the same time, people are entitled to their opinion. And I suppose it boils down to Jack's Films too, that he was basically criticising Sniper Wolf. This is the thing, criticising in what she was doing and things like that. And obviously that is basically free speech. You're allowed to criticise people. you're allowed to criticize governments, you're allowed to criticize individuals, YouTubers, particularly when you're that size of a YouTuber, you're not above criticism and what you do, and especially if it's very shady in what you do, particularly stealing other people's content and stuff like that. You're allowed to be criticised, even no matter how big you are. You're allowed to be criticised. And obviously YouTube came out with a statement too that there's both sides. They basically blame both sides. So Jack's Films basically lived in the house, and basically YouTube was like, you shouldn't live in the house, you should live in the street, and she wouldn't have been able to find your house. That's basically what YouTube basically would have said in the statement on Twitter. And that it's completely disingenuous because he didn't ask her to go to his house and do it. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's completely disingenuous. So it's insane. But again, it boils down to, you have the right to speak first. So that's the next thing. And the same, YouTube should treat everybody the same, no matter if you're the poor man in the street or the rich man in the mansion. Everybody should be treated the same. If you sign up to the terms or service of anything, obviously, there's rules in society. There's rules in society to freedom of speech and stuff like that. You can't go and threaten somebody. Take for example, that is you're basically breaking the law and threatening somebody. But you're allowed to say your opinion. Say if you don't like a YouTube, you can say, I don't like this YouTube X, Y, and Z because you'll steal content or whatever. That's perfectly, you're entitled to that. That's an opinion. That's not a threat, or that's not saying X, Y, and Z. You're just giving your opinion. And that should be supported on YouTube and on different social media. But obviously in the modern world we know that giving your opinion about something now is nearly worse than you're nearly compared to somebody in the 1930s. If you dare to question any narrative that the big tech platforms have, that the government have, the mainstream media, if you dare question it, if you dare put a step out of line, you'd be sorry, basically. That's what's happening at the moment, unfortunately. And that needs to change. But yeah, there's a lot to be said about that. But basically, what I'm trying to say, everybody should be equal on YouTube. Simple as that. Nobody's above criticism, and I suppose the way YouTube handled it is awful poor. And simple as that. And it just goes to show you the big favourite with people. So yeah, that's basically it. Again, I very, very, when I seen this, because nobody likes somebody being doxxed or turning up to somebody's house and things like that, uninvited or things like that. It's not nice, and especially being put on an Instagram story to 5 million people and stuff like that. So anybody or them 5 million people could turn up to his house. It can happen. Simple as that. And as I said before, when the time politicians, people turned up the politician's house in this country, I'm kind of from the old way of kind of taking it, because I was kind of brought up that your house was your castle, basically. No matter how you're the poor man or the rich man. That people in Ireland, particularly in Ireland, I'm sure we everybody could relate, that Irish people have huge pride in their house, because they work hard to pay the bills and to upkeep the house and to get it there. And it isn't right for somebody to come in and violate, I suppose, in that way, even as a politician and stuff like that. Like people turned up to Leo Varadkar's house and stuff like that. Even though I don't like Leo Varadkar, I will say straight away, but at the same time, I don't think anybody should have somebody turn up to your house. Let's be totally honest. I don't mind the constituency office, even down the road of the water, the turn up down, but when it's straight outside the door of your house, I don't agree with that, to be totally honest. Like, whatever you have a disagreement with a politician, and certainly have disagreements with Fianna Gael and Fianna Fáil, I certainly do. Anybody would tell you that, Fianna Fáil and Fianna Gael, they would know straight away to have very much disagreements with them. But I wouldn't wish somebody to turn up at their house or anything like that, if that makes any sense. It simply shouldn't be done to anybody. Simple as that. That's all I have to say on the matter. So, but let me know what you think. I know it's the first kind of nearly ever time. I think the only time I ever talked about it before was to do with SS Sniper Wolf before too, with a sick fan that was dying, and she basically shoved her off for a long time without talking to her. Because obviously, usually when I see something like that, you have to say something. So, but yeah, that's just my 50 cents on it. Thank you.